I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're from. Just want to let you know that if you're feeling weak, burdened by guilt, or any strongholds in your life that feel too big to overcome, there's something I want you to know. Jesus is bigger than all of it. Imagine him as like that big brother who steps in when bullies try and tear you down. Or it's like the friend who listens, understands, and walks with you through like every struggle. He's there when we're at our lowest, ready to strengthen us when we feel powerless. Like imagine this, you're face to face with turmoil, depression and darkness, and it seems like it's about to like overcome you. It's watching, it's waiting for you to slip up, to give in. But then you look up and you realize something. You're not alone. Suddenly, like this radiant light, the light of God's presence just shines through. And the darkness now realizes how weak and small it was in comparison to the light, and it flees. Why? Because God is bigger than any stronghold or power that tries to block us from him. As James 4 verses 7 says, submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Resist. I was looking up the definition for resistance on Google and it came up with this. It says resistance is to refuse to comply, accept, or give in. And in our lives, God's light overpowers any darkness, any stronghold that tries to overwhelm us. With Christ, we don't have to accept lies, temptations, or evil. Like, listen, we can refuse to believe the lies the devil tries to plant in our minds. Lies of insecurity, fear, anxiety. God gives us the power to resist all of it. In Philippians 4 verses 13, like we're reminded that through Christ we can do all things. And Isaiah 40 verses 31, one of my favorite verses says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They will walk and not be faint. Like when we feel worn out, God renews us. Like when we're weak, he strengthens us to stand firm. So resist. Resist anything that isn't from God. Call out to him. Rebuke the darkness in Jesus' name and let him walk you through the storms. So I recently heard a powerful quote from Pastor Sam at the table, and it goes like this: circumstances do not decide my fate, nor do they change God's position. And in that sermon, we were looking at the book of Daniel with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and how they were thrown into like the fiery furnace, and yet they survived. Why? Because God showed up. They weren't burned. They walked out with not even a hair singed on their head. And you see, that's the God we serve. In whatever trial you're facing, like when you come out of that fire, there won't be a trace of the flame that tried to consume you, because God is bigger than it all. He delivers, he strengthens, and he's always faithful to the end. So remember, like, no matter how dark or overwhelming life feels, God's light is greater. Resist the lies, hold on to his promises, and just trust that with Christ, you can overcome anything. Just resist.